Okay, this is Black Re-Education TV, where we're stepping back from the brink towards a more meaningful future. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So if your ancestors were scattered via the transatlantic slave trade or the Mohammedan Arabic Islamic slave trade, then you are the children of Almighty Sunini Nanini Samanda, the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Akobi. Oh yes, Black history. The study of the Bible is Black history. And so you're welcome tonight. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Share the link to everyone and let somebody know tonight that you are connected to the show. We give him all the praise. We give him all the glory. We give him all the honor because he is due all the praise and all the honor. Oh yes, share the link and text a friend. And after the show, make sure you follow us on all the channels. It is on Telegram Live, it is YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and the recording is uploaded on Bantu. You are welcome tonight to the show. All praises to Almighty Sunini Nanini Samanda. We give him all the praise and all the glory.
Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea. Black Education TV. Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea. Black Education TV.
You might say that as a people we have come a long way, and I guess you might say although things have changed, some things remain. Yeah. You extend your hand and support all the things that I do. But on the other hand, you say I've offended you. Is that truly brotherly love? There is greatness in store. If we come together, we could be so much more. Deep in your core, there is a sin that lieth at your door. And you extend your hand and support all the things that I do. But on the other hand, you say I've offended you. Is that truly brotherly love we see in you? Do we have the heart of the Father? Do we have the heart of the Father? Do we have the heart of the Father? Does he dwell in you?
You shall love Sunini Nanini, your mighty one, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang
seeking. We wanna be like you. Yeah, Modimo. We wanna be like you. Hey, Modimo. Just like you. On the surface, it may seem that we're not very different, but the heart that lies deep within shows true repentance. 'Cause we have a heavenly Father who has set us apart. Still there are those who refuse to serve him, but for us it's never too hard to serve. So many, not many. So many, not many. So many, not many. So many, not many. What will it take before you see that you should swallow your pride and walk upright in holiness and let the Most High be your guide? 'Cause we have a heavenly Father who will never leave us alone. We repent from what we've done in the past and no longer praise wood and stone. We praise so many, not many. So many, not many. So many, not many. So many, not many.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Sanini Nanini? Be not deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Sanini Nanini.
'Cause we have a heavenly Father who hears all our cries and is evidenced by your behavior. You love the Father of life. We love so many, not many. 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 So many nanini. 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 So many nanini.
The Most High loves His nation. The Bantu generation. He promised restoration. They will pay us reparation.
Ubuntu, Bantu, Ubuntu, Kimbo, so nini, na nini, so nini, the Holy One, stand up, daughters, rise up, sons, the walls of Babylon are falling, can't you see? So nini, na nini, has set us free, we are his chosen generation, he woke us up to the Bantu revelation.
The Most High loves His nation.
Ashe, royal kings, royal queens, Umbaka,
Bantu generation.
Kisa, holy seed, and get to heed decree, Umbaka,
Promise restoration.
Musa, chosen nation, royal generation, Umbaka,
Pay us reparation.
Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Kimbo. Our kings wrote the ancient scriptures in their Bantu tongue. You colonized and murdered them, then lied to the young. Stole the identity, the chosen seed you took. Added Isis, Ra, and El, pagan gods to our books. Destroyed the ancient scrolls. Added twisted lies and mixed in fake letters to the names of our tribes. Abram, Isaka, and Akobi, the royal kings of the Bantu tree. The Most High loves His nation, His royal generation. Yeah. We see your wicked, evil plots. Genetic engineering, we can't be stopped. So Nini, na Nini knew the evil you would do. So he made you document the facts to show your lies too. We have his E1B1A genetic parts. Eternal DNA like the sun, moon, and stars. Jasper, sardine, melanated stones. Revelation 4 and 3, brown skin tone.
The Most High loves His nation.
Ashe, royal kings, royal queens, Umbaka,
Bantu generation.
Kisa, holy seed, and get to heed decree, Umbaka,
Promise restoration.
Musa, chosen nation, royal generation, Umbaka,
Pay us reparation.
Ubuntu, Kimbo. Sub Saharan Africa, the holy land. My brothers The Most High loves his nation, his royal generation. Yeah. 1884 Berlin Conference, you divided our land. Read the scripture, Joel 3. Yes, your judgment plan. Our Bantu prophecies unrevealed, protected by the Most High, he concealed. Read Genesis 3:15, Deuteronomy 28. So Nini, not Nini, his holy seed you hate. He chose us to be above all the nations. You wicked, wicked seed, fire, annihilation.
The Most High loves his nation.
Ashe, royal kings, royal queens, Umbaka,
Bantu generation.
Kisa, holy seed, and get to he decreed, Umbaka,
Promised restoration.
Musa, chosen nation, royal generation, Umbaka,
Pay us restoration.
Ubuntu, Abantu, Ubuntu, Kimbo. He said it's done, it is done, it is done, and we are one. He said it's done, it is done, it is done, and we are one.
Praise the sun in Praise the sun in Bantu, yeah, it's really time to wake up. Sending plagues just to save us. Through disobedience, we became slaves of nation. Every chain they put on us, and then he really breaking. If you worship JC, then you really worship Satan. Jesus was the first official English slave ship. Jesus was the first official English slave ship. Sending yelling out like, let my people go. Black and brown people, the chosen, like you ain't know. The one upon the throne is like a Jasper and Sardine stone. Yeah, that be more demon. Yeah, we was really lost like Nemo, but you really gave us a seed. Oh, see, we fighting against the children of Cain. Yeah, they really lied and try to say that we the same, but I got that E1B1 name in my veins. Trusting any none, and it's where it really came. So praises on to your name, yeah. I'ma sing, praises to your holy name, your holy name, your holy name. Praise to Son in my heavenly Father, my heavenly Father. Praise the Son in my heavenly Father, my heavenly Father. Holy, holy, holy is Son in holy, you are holy, holy is Son in. Praise the Son in my heavenly Father, my heavenly Father. Praise the Son in my heavenly Father, my heavenly Father.
The children of Zoonaadh1 are declaring judgment on the nations. Yes, in every corner of the earth, wherever you have scattered us, via the transatlantic slave trade, or prior the Mohammedan Arabic Islamic slave trade. Yes, the 1884 colonization of the continent and the continued colonization of the earth. Your time has come to an end. Your judgment is ripe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
thank Sunini Nanini for breaking down every obstacle in the path to the redemption of his people. And we join the prophets that said, therefore the redeemed of Sunini Nanini shall return and come with singing unto Zion. That's what they said in the Bible. But I mean, know it's Jerusalem. It's
Eat paradise, eat paradise, yeah. Eat paradise, eat paradise, yeah. Eat paradise, eat paradise, yeah. Eat paradise, eat paradise. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna go to paradise where the roads gold and the weather's nice. Where the Salema ain't on fight. No moon or sun, cause you be the light. Way truth and light. So many na nini. Tata and Zami, mighty one of Akobi. Out New Egypt, you gon' lead us. You the one to redeem us. You love us but don't need us. False doctrine, you gon' free us. Yeah, yeah. I can hear the shaking of the bones. All cause the one on the throne. Akobi, yeah, we go home. So then please take us home. Eat paradise. Eat paradise, yeah. Eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise, eat paradise. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Ingefuna ukuya Jerusalem, 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 yeah.
Greeting tonight once more in the precious name of our Father, Almighty Sunini Nanini. We thank him for his goodness and his kindness. We thank him for his steadfast love that never ceases. Tonight once more in the precious name of our Father, Almighty Sunini Nanini. We thank him for his steadfast love that never ceases. And we thank him for his protection and his wisdom in these days in which we are living in. I want to welcome everyone, whether you're joining from the Holy Land, Africa is the Holy Land, or from North and South America, or you're joining from the islands of the Caribbean, you're joining from Europe, Asia, or the Arab lands, or the Pacific Islands, Australia, or New Zealand. Welcome tonight. It's question and answer time, and I look forward to trying to give you some answers to some of the questions that you may have. If I can start off with one question from earlier, someone was asking about the feast of the Passover, when it's actually starting. Now, one of the things we have to do when we're going to understand the times is that we got to divorce or disconnect ourselves from what the Gentiles have put in place. You see, time, midnight tonight, they're going to change to to AM. Right now, in the start of this dark, since midday when the sun was up, they turned it halfway around. So while the sun was up in the middle of the day, right up to the middle of this night, you are celebrating what they call the PM. And then in the middle of the night, in the dark, you change to AM. And the AM will continue just before 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. So they've upset times. And so when you come to the Bantu calendar, you got to understand. Let me share the calendar with you tonight so that if there's a question there. And well done to the scribe group again for the show last night. We give thanks and praise to Almighty Zoonaadh1 for their lives. Hallelujah. Let me just get the screen I want to share with you up here. The calendar and show you where we are today and how we got there. Now, it is night here. It is just about a little after 9:21 in London here. And we have just ended day 2 because now is effectively Thursday. This is what we call Thursday, according to the Gentile calendar. See, it is that day Thursday. Thursday started this evening. The day starts with the dark part, and then you get the light part. So the evening of the 20th is also the evening of the 21st. I'll say that again. The evening, the night part of this, the end of this day, when the sun is going to set and it comes down to setting, it starts the new day and it ends the old day. That's the transition. This transition here from light to darkness, and we get to see it with our eyes. What the nations did with this part of it, they put that in the middle of the night. They make that change to take place in the middle of the night and in the middle of the day, so that it's not controlled by the sun. See, the sun, so Nini says, will rule the day, and the moon will rule the night. So when sun comes up in the morning, you get that bright light for 12 hours. When sun is setting, that section of the day, the light part comes to an end. And the section to make up the 12 and 12, 24, the dark part kicks in. The dark part that kicks in starts the new day. It starts in the dark half first, and then it light up in the bright day when the sun comes up. When you see the sun, is the daylight, but not what we refer to as the complete period of the day, which is a combination of 12 hours of darkness and 12 hours of lightness. So when we talk about the Passover or the new, let me use the Passover because that's a conversation we're having. And it applies to everything. It applies to the Samba as well. Just get this up there. Right. So here we are. So we are here about 9, 10, 11, 12. And another 3 hours is going to be in the middle of that night period. And another 12 will be in the middle of this day period. Now, you can't call this night, and you can't call this day, and you can't call that night. And that's what the nations did. So that they don't run according, it's everything they've changed, so that they don't run according to Sunini's time clock. That's why the resurrection and all of that kind of conversation is just a system that they put in there. And that's why you end up with 36 hours instead of 72 hours because of how you'd come time. So practice this. Let's believe that the Adventists get it right for this time. They will celebrate the Sabbath. In the evening, when the sun is going down, that day ends and a new day starts. So they start a new day in the dark period, and then it runs for 12 hours, and then you get the light period like you see here. And then when that light period comes to an end, midday will be the high noon, the sun. When it comes to an end, it ends that past 24 hours. That's the last hour of the 24 hours. Just like how the year runs. Like when we change over. This year ended at the end there. So that the new day starts in the night period. Or the new 24 hours. Let's call it that. The new 24 hours start there in the evening. It enjoys 12 hours of night, and then it gets 12 hours of light. So you get, if you're explaining it right, so you get this day, this whole period of 24 hours divided half and half between 12 hours of darkness and 12 hours of light. That's your day. So every evening you're ending a day and starting a new one. But your new day, your old day ends in light, and your new day starts in darkness. So when we talk about the Passover, it comes in the evening, which is, it comes in the end of this day, which is when the sun set, which is the evening of the new day, which is the night part. So it is the 14th day, the evening of the 14th day. If you go and kill a lamb in the evening of the 14th day here, then the day you are going to observe is in the unleavened bread. Because when this day comes to an end, when this 12 hours, let's split it down here, right in the middle here, when this 12 hours of night ends, you get 12 o'clock in the day, 12 hours of day, and that is a 24 hour. So the ending of this day is the beginning of the next day. So the ending of the light is going to be followed by the darkness. You see? That's how it works. And then you get a period, 12 hours of darkness. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, the darkness gives way to light. The sun is going to come up. And you get the 12 hours of sun. When the sun is setting after 12 hours, it is ending its cycle for that day, but it's starting the new day, which starts in the darkness. You have to get that right. So that when you read in the evening, it's here, the evening of the 14th day. You can't go there and do the evening of the 14th day, because when the sun is setting here, it is the beginning of the Wednesday. It is the evening of this Wednesday. And so, like I said, and I will always say, very quickly, we have to lose the fallacies in Christianity. We have to lose it. And you know, when I begin to talk like this, I get back my energy. I was a bit tired this evening. But this is the reality here. So, here we are to celebrate Passover. It comes in on the evening of the 13th day. Don't worry with those Gentile days. The evening of the 13th day, it is the ending of that day that begins. The evening of the ending of the 13th day is the beginning of the 14th day. That's how you see it. And the 13th day end with the sun setting. And the 14th day start with the sunset. It already said dark, or the rising of the moon, if you want to say it that way. The moon is going to run for that 12 hours, or the stars, or whatever. And then sun is going to wake up and shut out the darkness. And he's going to do that for 12 hours. When the sun comes to an end, the darkness will take over again. That's the evening part of the next day. All that is left for it now, after that first dark 12 hours, is the next light 12 hours, governed by the sun. And if we do that, we're going to get the counting right. We're going to get the counting right. I hope that is helpful to my brother that asked, Brother Vusili, asked that question. It's very important. And sometimes we take it for granted that it is very clear. I'm going to do a presentation of that. I normally do it with the what we call the resurrection story, because in the resurrection story, you get to see. See if I can do that. For example, this is one box. Yeah, let's call that box night. Bear with me, I'll show you this. This is this is the second box. Let's call that box day, right? So you got night and day. This night is existing because the sun is gone. So that day has ended. That is the past 24-hour day. And right where that one ends, this one begins. So when day ends for the past day, night begins to start the new day. So the new day starts in the darkness. Out of darkness, he created light. So darkness comes, then light comes after. Darkness exists and light comes in and put it out. So this is 12 hours. And the other one is also 12 hours. I know some people might be struggling to see this. So let me try and see if I can, let me blow it up a little bigger. That's night. And that's day. I hope that is clear. I'm gonna take it for granted that that is midnight. And that is midday. I'll just give some strength to this line so we can see it. Hallelujah. Bear with me so that at least we put to rest this conversation here. That's midday. And this is midnight. All right. So that's your first. So when the sun set and end that day that is gone there, the new day starts here and it runs for 12 hours. But at midnight, it would have completed 6 hours there, and then it goes down to get to the morning, another 6 hours. Same thing here. The sun rises and it reaches peak in the sky at 12 noon. That's the six hours after it has risen. It's got another 6 hours and it's going to set. Right? So sunrise, sunset here. Every time the sun sets, it ends this 24 period here, this whole double, and it begins a new double, starting off with darkness. That's how we counted and knew that you can't have a Good Friday murder and a Sunday morning resurrection. It's only 36 hours. And see, when the nations are planning these evils, they don't get to see the other side. The one track, when they're planning, they don't get to see the other side. And so this is what happens in a day. So that's midnight, that's midday. But the whole period is 6 in the afternoon, 6 in the evening, 6 in the evening, 6 in the afternoon. So that's why this part of the day will be called the evening, here ending, the evening, dark, and this is the morning. This is the morning, and the end of this is the evening because it's going to bring you back to light. So in the evening of the 14th is dark. That's the Passover starting. You get it? So they started it there, and at midnight, they were putting the things on the doorpost, and the death angel passed at midnight. At the time when the death angel passed, they had already started eating the lamb, and they would have put the blood already because the death angel passed in the middle of the night. Just remember, this is the logics and how to decode or put logics to what we're reading. Had the death angel started at this first period here, what would happen? All of them would have died because the lamb is now being killed, and then they eat the lamb, and at midnight the death angel passed to do his check to see which house is not covered. See? That's how it works. So the darkness and then the light. I don't know, take a little time there, but I needed to do that to make sure that when we come back to put this onto the conversation of the Passover, we understand that if we superimpose that, this will be the light, the last half here, light, and this will be the first half of the day, dark. So this is going to be called the evening because this is the evening, the setting of the sun. So this is the evening, the beginning of the dark. So the evening of the 14th is here. If you do the evening here, and the death angel pass at midnight, all of them will die. Because on the evening of the 14th, if you come here, is putting you in this first dark period of unleavened bread. And maybe that's how some people get it wrong. But I'm gonna expand on that because I really want you to understand that concept. It's the same concept that negates this Good Friday conversation of the murder and Sunday morning resurrection. If you count these things, if this was Good Friday here, the evening he was put in the grave, and then he spent the first night and the first night and the first day, right? The first whole night and the first whole day in the grave. Then the first whole night, that is Saturday, and then Saturday night, if you call this, and then you get 12 trees, 36. And that is the only way you can get a Sunday morning resurrection. But reality, 72 hours from Good Friday is going to put you a Monday evening, Tuesday evening resurrection. You see, that is what will happen. So it don't match. And yeah, we'll leave that for when we come to talk about that. Let me have the first question tonight. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you. Okay. Right, Yusuf. Let me just escape from the screen that I have no control over. And then let me get this up there. Okay. He says, explain. So my question is pertains to Malachi 4:8-13. The daughter of Zion, which is the daughter of Jerusalem. May you please explain the scriptures. Micah 4:8-13. Right away, if you see daughter of Zion, that is that the daughters of Jerusalem. So let's go to the scriptures and get up there. The book of Micah. It's chapter 4 and verse 8-13. The mountain of Sunini. The mountain of Sunini Nanini. That's Mount Sinai. And now we know it. It's in Namibia. All right. And then we come down to verse number 8. So Sunini Nanini shall rescue Jerusalem. So now the word Zion has been put there by the people of Zion. So Zion is another made-up word. Zion is used, they use Zion to hide Jerusalem. If I take you to, let's see where the word is first used in this, so I can find it. Verse number 8. It's in 7, yeah? So let's take number 7 and let's go to King James Plus. And we're going to look at the word Zion. Let me just remove these little bits of things here so you can see clearly. And let me make it a little big so everybody at home can read with us. So, see, the word is Zion. It's in chapter 2, chapter 4, verse 7. And it says here, this is the word. It's Strong's H6726. The same regular as H6725. T-S-I-J-O-N. That's where you get the word T-S. T-S is that Z sound. That's why you get Zaire. The T-S is the Z, right? So T-S-I-J-O-N is the word that they're trying to pronounce here, which is Zion, a mountain of Jerusalem. So that's the mountain. Sinai is the mountain of Sunini Nanini. The mountain of Sunini Nanini. That's what it says at the top here. The mountain of Sunini Nanini is Mount Goreb, Mount Sinai, Mount Horeb. That's the mountain of Sunini Nanini. So when you see it here, they say they use the word Zion to hide it. So we said Mount Zion, you are thinking that is a mountain that is named Zion, but it's the mountain of Jerusalem, which is the mountain of Sunini Nanini, that is being referred to. But you get confused now because they've used the word Zion. But you have to know that the word Zion is used in replacement for Jerusalem. Now, let me show you that again a little further. I'm going to take you to the King James Plus. Here, and we put in Zion. Z-I-O-N. When it comes up, that's the word there, Zion, right? Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion in the city of David. Zion, the word Zion. So the word Zion is Strong's 6226. Let me just get it a little up so everybody can see it. So they're pronouncing it Zion, right? Now that's the same Zion, but let's go in and read. So a parcel of a parched place, right? Zion. Another name for Jerusalem. You see it there? So they use Zion to replace Jerusalem. So when you're talking about Zion, 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 right? Now, if, for example, if Mount Kenya is Zion, then Jerusalem got to be near to Mount Kenya. You understand? So what they're doing here is making up words, and it's confusing the geography of the Bible, or the Bantu scrolls, better put. So Zion is a replacement for Jerusalem. So what you have to do, chop the word Zion out of your vocabulary so that you don't get mixed up with it. So let's now read the scriptures that you asked to read and explain. Okay, let's go back to King James and we read from verse number 7. It says, "And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation." Who is he speaking about here? Right away, nation. He's talking about his children, and he will conform it. "And Zoonaadh1 shall reign over them in the mountain Sinai, in the Holy Land, the mountain of Zoonaadh1, from thenceforth even forever." That's the mountain Horeb, Goreb, that Moses brought the people to. He said, bring them here to my mountain, Mount Sinai. And verse 8 says, "And thou, O tower of the rock, the stronghold of daughter Jerusalem." He's speaking about this place. Unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of, and he say, the daughter of Zion is the daughter of Jerusalem. But they are in, just like how they do in Akobi and Israel. So you got these two alternatives, and then you're going to have to pick, and then you pick Zion, and then you're confused, but where is Zion? Oh, I know where is Jerusalem, and Jerusalem and Zion got to be the same. See? But you see, Zion is connected with Zionism. So you know that that word is not a word that we should be putting in our vocabulary. It says like JC. We know that's the image of the beast. You don't want to be making reference to them in worship and praise. See? So it says it very clearly here. "And thou, O tower of the rock, the stronghold of daughter Jerusalem, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem." Zion and Jerusalem is the same place. But why is Zion there? Drop Zion. Now, why does the city cry out? So it's a city he's talking about. "Is there no king in thee?" He's speaking of the city, which city? Jerusalem. "Is there no counsel? Is thy counsel perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail." Verse 10. "Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Jerusalem, like a woman." So she's typed onto a woman giving birth, Jerusalem. Her children is the Bantu, right? Like a woman in travail, she's in labor to give birth to her children. So this mother, Jerusalem, is giving birth to her children. He said it. "Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often have I gathered thee like a hen, like a mother hen and her children? And you would not." Because every time they come together, they get scattered. Why they get scattered? Because they want to be like the nations. For as long as we stay connected to Zoonaadh1, daughter Jerusalem will inherit. That's what it's talking about. "O daughter of Jerusalem, like a woman in travail, for now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the fields. Inside of the city, you get put out. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. You're going to go into captivity, Jerusalem. There shall thou be delivered. You're going to get deliverance. There, Sunini shall redeem you. He's going to redeem you from there, from the hands of thine enemy. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled. That's what Christian Amanpour was coming to do on the continent. And that's what they do when they go to in the Caribbean or wherever this Bantu people are, because they know that is the daughter that they're calling Zion. They know that is the children of Jerusalem. And if they pollute the children of Jerusalem, so then you have to leave them to suffer the pollution, because you have to be obedient to the commandments. He said, I will redeem from my enemies. Now also many nations have gathered against thee. They say, let her be polluted, and let her eyes look upon the pollution of Jerusalem. You get it? But when you put Zion, you're not going to read Jerusalem. They want us to look on the pollution. Let their eyes look upon the pollution. Once we get polluted, Jerusalem is polluted. Jerusalem shall be trodden down. Jerusalem shall be trodden down by Gentiles. They are the trodden downers, until the time comes to an end. When the time comes to an end is overtime. This is overtime. And if we make the mistake of not living according to the commandments, then the Gentiles are going to laugh. Look at them. Look at their city. It's done. Jerusalem is trodden down again. But they know not the thoughts, but the Gentiles know not the thoughts of Suninanini, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves in the threshing floor. Arise and thresh. Arise and trample under your feet, Jerusalem. Trample what? The wicked. For I will make thine horn or power iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, bring down. So Jerusalem shall bring down many people, and I will consecrate their grain unto Suninanini. Their gain, sorry. I will consecrate their gain unto Suninanini, and their substance unto Suninanini of the whole earth. It's talking about the redemption of the children of Jerusalem. But the presence of Zion has confused it. Because one time they say in Jerusalem, one time they say in Zion. And you might think it's two different things. But Zion is the corruption of Jerusalem. The abomination added to the word and the location. So that place in the Levant, you could keep that as Zion. That is no Jerusalem. That is where Zion is. The people of Zion is there. And the Jerusalem, Ekayalame up south, is the city of our King. You've got to do the separation. Hallelujah. Thank you. Okay. All right. Right, Carl. For the blowing of the trumpet for the Samba, Eastern time, 11:51 a.m., end on Saturday, 11:51 a.m. Yeah, that will be Friday to Saturday, 11:51 a.m. as well. It is possible. You see, when the sun is way up in your space, you don't get to see the movement as you will see. If you are in Pretoria and you're watching the sun going down in the west over on the Namibia side, you will think that the sun is racing. By the time you look it, because you're so high, when it disappears quickly. By the time you look the sun, it's gone. That's why you get to understand that if you're going from Jerusalem, right, or the Eastern Cape side, and you're going to East Africa on that side of the land, by the time you start your journey, it is possible. That's why Akobi ended up sleeping, right, in Bethel. But he was going down to Padanaram, he was going West Africa. but he was using the eastern quarter. So by the time he started on his journey, the sun was setting. So he's got to sleep. And then when the morning comes, he's going to wake up and he's going to make the journey. See, so you get a longer sunshine on the western side because the sun is setting on that side. And so when you're coming in, especially if you're coming with animals, you come in on the western quarter. I'll explain that another time. You come in on the western quarter, so you get a longer period of daylight. But if you are going or coming on the eastern quarter, by the time the sun is up there at midday, and because of all the mountain as well, by the time you know it, by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, it's descending rapidly from the height because it's veil. It's coming rapidly down and night falls. So that's why time is, when you are away, like you said, you are in Eastern time zone. When the sun is at that hour 11:51 going to 12, which is nearly midday, right? The middle of the day. I hope I'm understanding you right. Yeah. Is the middle of the night or the middle of the day? AM. Is it in the is that in the AM is in the morning? That is still the night time. That, right. So you blow your trumpet in where you are, Eastern time is in the night time. I hope I'm getting that right. Because it's AM. AM is in the morning. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you're gonna get light. Yes, you are in AM. It's gonna change to PM at midnight. So that's where, yes, the sun is high in the sky. And you don't get to see a minute, a second movement. You're gonna see this happening in places like London, for example. At a certain time of the year, you're gonna get the Friday summer time and the end, to start and to end December. It's gonna be the same time because of a certain time in the year, how the sun is moving across the earth to go into the portal on the other side. So it comes out of the portal on the east and it enters a particular portal on the west in the setting. And certain times of the year, you don't get to see that massive change in terms of a second. On other times, you can see 1551, 1552. Now, if you keep your eyes on the next sample, if yours is 1551 and 1551, you will see 1551 and then probably 1552. And then you might see 1552 and then 1554. That is how it will appear. It works it out, that's how the sun moves. And it depends on which portal it's traveling in and out of. That's a little bit of technical stuff. But that is calculated for you by a member of the Scribe team, and it's put out there on Thursdays. And I put that out in the Facebook feeds. All right. So the next part of the question says, my trumpet. Third question is, MY. The Kabbalah and Tetragrammaton are the same. No, Kabbalah, they're related because it's part of the concoction that those people use. The Kabbalah is like mysticism. It's like witchcraft, if you want to put it so that it can be understood easily. The Tetragrammaton is the system that was used to corrupt the name Ninni, to make the 4 letters Ninni become Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. I teach it before. I will do it again to show you how they take Ninni, N-I-N-I, and read it from the other side and get Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Instead of Vav-Heh-Vav-Heh, they get Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, so that they get the values for the name. The values for the name of Sunini Nanini in the letters that N-I-N-I, they get to change it and create Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, it's only 2 letters, N and I, N-I-N-I, but they cut the first one reading from right to left. They cut the first I short and make what they call the Yod. Instead of saying, you say Yod, He, that's the end, Vav, He. Instead of saying Vav, He, they say Yod, He, Vav, He. So they do the changing up. And that is what they did to corrupt the language. And it's the same system they're using to corrupt the DNA. See, when they corrupted the language, they discovered that they made Nini disappear. So now if you use the same principle, the logics, if you use the same principle that cause you to linguistically disappear with Nini, then you go biologically, right, chemically, and do the same to get rid of Sunini Nanini. Where is he? He is in us. So you go in us and you bridge that DNA that belonged to Sunini Nanini that he put in us, and you put in the third strand to corrupt the DNA. Right. So that's what the tetragrammaton is linguistically, to what the DNA, the third strand, the mRNA, yes. RNA is a strand, right? Double helix is two RNAs come together. And a triple helix is 3 RNA come together. But we only supposed to have 2. And if you take out one completely, the person is finished. So you try to put in a third one and corrupt it so that it could corrupt or mutate the original DNA. So they do it in the language and they get rid of Sunini Nani. That's why you left with I am that I am. You see? And you get Yahuwah and all of them things. It comes from the tetragram. Then Ja, La, as we saw last night, La, all of these from there. So if they did it with the language, you say, okay, if we do that to the language, if we go in now biologically and do the same thing to the DNA, where he is the owner of that DNA, then we could corrupt him. We could remove him from the body that he is occupying. Lucifer's children is on the go. Don't worry. They're not going to they don't monetize the shows because and their content is a bit explosive. You see? That's a tetragrammaton. But be patient, I'll come back to it. Thank you so much. Where can I get the trumpet? Oh, you just buy a trumpet. You know, you don't go for nothing expensive, fancy. Just get something that could make some noise. Like the Gabon president was saying to his friends, make some noise for me. They want to get rid of me when he knows a gift. So this is a trumpet. Right, that's a trumpet. Brief blow. So you got different bugles, anything that could make some noise. Yeah. And you get some drums as well and make some noise. That's the story. Okay. I'm going to try and get in the other questions quickly. Yeah. So where can I get a trumpet? Also, what letters are hidden in the Yod? So in the Yod, you got the Y is there. You got a J when they made the J. That's why you get Jah, because you get Yah. You get Yahuwah, you get Jehovah, you get I, right? You remember Isaiah, IAH, that's where the I came, was there before the J. So the I is in there, the J is in there, the Y is in there, and I think the E is in there as well. Iya, Isha, Iya. So that one letter, the corruption makes it unpure. So they contaminated that letter, the first I. So N-I-N-I-I-N-I-N, right? Good. So they corrupt the first one and pack everything in there. So they pull out Jah from there, they pull out Yah from there. Even Allah is inside of there. All is inside the tetragrammaton. It is the same story. So it is not abnormal what you see now that the Roman Church is worshiping with the Arab Allah, and of course the Judaism is going to be the same part of the story. These are all religions created by the Vatican, and they're coming full fruit. You know, it's going to be interesting in a couple of weeks, months, maybe, when All of these people, somebody was talking today that the gates of hell is buying up land and he's cutting down trees and burying them, said that this is how you want to help climate change. When you know that those trees are important for greenhouse gases, according to you. And then they're doing the next thing now, then they're paying people now to plant trees. So one is cutting down for safe climate, another one is planting trees for safe climate. You are going to see this level of confusion. You're seeing it in the White House, you're going to see it in the Vatican, you're going to see it in the British Parliament, you're going to see confusion on every hand. Now, this is not the normal, ordinary British people, American people. No, this is the leadership that has bought into the corruption, and it is playing out right before your eyes. There you're going to see confusion. They're going to talk out what they have done. And you're going to say, no, no, no. Did you just say that? Did you just hear that? Did you just say, we really wanted to kill you, and we didn't get to kill you, we're going to try again? Did he actually say that? You're going to hear it with your mouth, and you're not going to even believe it. Sunini is exposing the wicked. And like I said, on the continent, he's uniting. He's uniting his children. It looks like Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali will become one country. Just imagine what is happening. And you just know that all the others are going to join in. You know what he's doing? He is taking down the borders. That's what Sunini is doing. He heard the cry, and he's taking down the borders. This is who we serve. Some people don't understand, you see, but we have to leave them until they get to that place. For some people, it's going to be too late. And you can do nothing to help them because it's going to be too late. He that is often reproved and harden his heart and stiffen his neck shall be cut off suddenly, and that without remedy. Those are his words, and everything that he has said has come to pass. So we take another question. Thank you. Is the time we're living in the time referred to in Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, when Satan was kicked out of heaven? No, he was kicked out before now. He was kicked out before now. Satan is not in the presence of Sunini Nanini. Satan is held in chains. The wickedness you see on this earth is by the other fallen angels that are still, some of them let loose still, but the children of those fallen angels who mutated over time, that you're seeing the deeds. These are the ones that are calling you into this wickedness that you see on the earth. It's just like it was in the days of Noah. They had no time, they couldn't be bothered. Anything that is righteous, they go against it. They saw the animals that Sunini created and they mixed the DNA with it. They're doing the same thing. The same children are repeating what they did. That's why Masindisi said it. That's not Jesus. Jesus has no voice. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the times of the coming of the Son of Man. So Lucifer is in chains, and jagged rocks have been placed on him, keeping him in place. But the children, they carry the same spirit, and they're doing it. You think Satan went to Kenya to ask about when Kenya is going to recognize all of these rights and wrongs? No. Wasn't Satan? You think Satan is in Niger trying to overthrow the government of Niger and stealing the uranium? No, that's France. But what? The devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. You got to connect the links, you see. If you don't connect them, you're going to mix them up. If you ask France, where is Niger? France will tell you heaven. That is heaven to France. Yes, it is. That is it. So, when France get to hell, we'll know. All right, so it is the time we're living in, Revelation 12:9, when Satan was kicked out of heaven. No, he's kicked out a long time. It's Isaiah chapter 14. And deceived the whole world. He has done it. The world is deceived. If he's now getting kicked out, then the world is now this world has been deceived a long time. Satan is like the God of this world. Since the day of Adam and Eve failed, Satan was running things in terms of obedience. You see, whenever we disobey, that's why when we came into Christianity, I keep reminding you, when we came into Christianity, they said don't keep the commandments because they were teaching us to be disobedient to Sunini Nanini. If we keep the commandments, we're being obedient to Sunini Nanini, and obedience to Sunini Nanini is disobedience to Satan. It's the opposite. They are opposites. So when we obey Satan, we're disobeying Sunini Nanini. That's why they say sin is disobedience to the law. If we obey the law, we are in righteousness. We are obedient to Sunini Nanini. That means we are in disobedience to Lucifer. That's how it works. And we have that choice. If not, has there ever been a time like that before or this to come? No, as it was in the days of Noah, there's a repeat. What you see caused the flood and the destruction and will cause the destruction in this time is the same children of Cain back then that couldn't be bothered. They influenced so much people back then that only Noah and his family were saved. They were able to influence everybody else. Just imagine that. And as it was in the days of Noah, it's going to be just like that this time. Because so broad is the way that leads to destruction. Narrow is the way that leads to life eternal. Few there be that find the narrow, and many there be that find. Because, some people say, let me just live it up, but because they think that the death of this body is the end of them. And just because nobody came back to say, hey, this thing is not real. This thing, when you come out to this body, you're going to see who you really are. So they're going to wait to see that. And that's why we have the story. Even Synthesis gave us the example of Abraham and Lazarus and the rich man. And he said to the rich man, he said, remember when in your lifetime you had all the things that are good, and this man Lazarus had nothing. Now he is comforted and you are tormented. He said, I understand, but please, I got brothers that will come the same way because they are behaving just like me. The seed is the same kind, they're coming back. Yeah. And he said, no, if they don't hear them people who talking over there about this matters, they will come just there like you. That's the reality. There's not many people are going to be saved. To get that, you have to be obedient to Sunini Nanini. And some people decide, no, it just enjoys, And then when I think that it nearly, barely, and there's a little gap in the door to close, I will run. It's the same thing they do the ark. When the rain started to fall, then they say, first they will say, we know nothing about rain, this thing is not right, it's not possible. And when the rain started, because up to then they only saw dew. When the rain started to fall, they said, this thing is real. And then they bend the calendar to, let us in. The animals went in, 2 by 2. Even the apes and the kangaroo. And the man with the intelligence was left outside. Then we left out now. Oh, they laugh at us. They say, hey, look at them. Don't know what they're doing. They did the same thing to Noah. Until the ark landed in Ararat, in South Africa. Even that they wanted to lie about and say it's in Turkey. The ark landed in Turkey and all the animals end up in Africa. Nonsense, but this is what they have done. This is how they do it. And they're not alone. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Why is very important in honoring our Samba from the Southern Hemisphere? Because there is no Samba in the Northern Hemisphere. That's a deception. Any Sabbath that you are celebrating in the Northern Hemisphere is fake. Samba is about the Southern Hemisphere, about a people that Sunini calls his own. It's about Sunini Nanini, who owns the Samba. It's his feast. Leviticus 23 says, these are my feasts. And he asked us to join him in his feast. So we can't change the location. He said, these are my feasts. And I want you to celebrate them. So if he's celebrating them where his name is, Sunini Nanini, Southern Hemisphere, then you have to celebrate the feast according to his time, because it's his feast. So if you're celebrating Sabbath according to Northern Hemisphere, then the question is, whose feasts are those? because Sunini's own is in his land. Then that is the God of Israel's feast. That's not Sunini Nanini. My brother is not me. The man over the road is not me. You understand what I'm saying? So Sunini's feast got to be celebrated in Sunini's land, Southern Hemisphere. If you're celebrating something like Sunini's feast in a different hemisphere, then the question is, who is that? You get the picture. So that's how important it is. If I read Leviticus chapter, just briefly, Leviticus chapter 23, just the beginning of it, that tells us who is the owner of these sambas and feasts and Sabbath. Just want to share that quickly before, and then I'll put the question, I'll take the question back up after I've just explained this. So if I can get the, remove the question briefly, so I can put this up and then see. Right, we go here and we go there. Right. So we're not going to be long tonight. It says, Leviticus 23, and Sunini Nanini spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Akobi. You see, that's where the problem coming, because you got Israel Day, which is in the Levant. That's not an hemisphere. When you put Akobi, then you come back to Southern Hemisphere, because that is where he lived. Speak unto the children of Akobi, Southern Hemisphere, and say unto them concerning the feast of Sunini Nanini Samandla. You should proclaim it to be holy convocations in the, even these are my feast. So if Sunini Nanini is the owner of the feast, then you got to celebrate them with him in his land, because it's his feast. If Yahuwah is the feast is in the northern hemisphere, and you want to celebrate there, then you go with Yahuwah. You go land of Israel. That's where Yahuwah is. Yahuwah is not on the continent. That's why I tell you, Bantu people cannot be Hebrews, because there are no Hebrews on the continent. Bantu people cannot be Israelites because there are no Israelites on the continent. Bantu people cannot be Jews because there are no Jews on the continent. All those I've just said is in the Levant. So you got to go where Yahuwah is to celebrate Yahuwah. But when you want to celebrate Sunini's feast, you got to do it in his land where he said, I put my name. And everybody knows that name still in that land. Sunini Nanini. It's very easy when we let loose of Christianity to pick this out. So the next part of the question is, the time zone 99.9% because of its emotional and physical connection to our spirit man, rejecting the Most High. Yeah, the problem, like I just explained again, the time zone and even BC and all of these things that they put in there is emotional and physical connection to our spirit man, rejecting the Most High side. It's a little bit more, is that we were trained to be rebellious to Sunini Nanini. We never know Sunini Nanini. We never know who he was. They told us who he was. They say it's Jehovah. That's not him. Jehovah is in the Levant. They say it's El Shaddai. That is in the Levant. All the Elohims, that's right. But when we come to his name, if it's Tatanzambi, he's on the continent. If it's Mawari, he's on the continent. If he is Chineke, he's on the continent. If he is Modimo, he's on the continent. If it's Uludamari, he's on the continent. You see what I'm saying? So this creator on the continent must be worshipped in his land, because that's his land. And so when you're now going to abandon his feast, but he says his feast, and start celebrating his feast in another location, you've gone to another season. That's the problem. But this time, a long time, this time, not been before time. We're coming back to the heart of worship. And it's all about Sunini Nanini alone. We don't worship him synthesis. Because all he did It's like what we're doing, pointing everybody to the Father. If you hear me start pointing people to me, you know that I've gone loony, bonkers. Pray for me, help me, because something is wrong. All praises goes to Sunini Nanini. That's what Msindisi did. When he said, Sunini Nanini is the resurrection and the life, the translators, the wicked translators put I am, because they replace his name with I am. You get the picture? So we're coming back to the heart of worship. Thank you. Okay. The question is, regarding the firstborn of the dead, referring to JC. So let's get, this is Christianity. That's Christianity. Look, Jesus Christ never lived. It is the figment of the imagination of the Romans. An image and a picture painted by Michelangelo on a piece of canvas that never left the canvas on which it was painted on. So don't talk about Jesus. If you're talking about Msindisi, then we can have that conversation. Okay? He's the first fruit, first of the resurrection. Is that so? Is that so? It wasn't him, Msindisi, that raised Lazarus from the dead. Did Lazarus die before Msindisi? Yes. And Msindisi raised Lazarus from the dead. So you got to watch these things that these people, this witchcraft that the European nations have done in the scriptures. So Nini is flushing it out, and he's flushing them out. Did Msindisi not raise the dead? Did he not raise the girl that was sick, that died? When he said in Isikosa, take life from me, Talita Kum. And then these wicked preachers tell you that, you know, when I was in, they tell us that that's the name. That's the name of the girl, Talita Kum. What I know is Isikosa, take life from me. He was inducing life from himself into her. Like Elijah the prophet did when the woman's son died and he stretched himself out on the child, and the next thing you know, the child come back. He said, take life, take it from me. This connection. Oh, this is going to be glorious. You see this energy that Sunini has put in our body. It generates, it could regenerate itself. Is it Henrietta Lacks? They had ourselves and it was just keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. See, Sunini could make anything happen to this body. But you see, if you get accustomed to this body, you're not going to want to leave it because you like it. Look how you cologne it up and you spray it up and you shave it up and you nice it up and you stretch it up and stretch it out and do all kind of nice things with it. The thing is going to die. It's going to die. And then you are going to stand in your true form before the Creator Sunini Nanini. See, Jesus is not going to have that experience because he never existed. But you are going to have this experience. Don't trust these people. These people lied look in front of your eyes. Just now in another 2 hours, you get midnight, right? And then it changes to AM. And then that AM runs for 6 hours in the night and 6 hours in the day and change. When Sunini says, let the 12 hours of day run and then the 12 hours of night run. You see, they have changed it. They hate Sunini Nanini. Marvel not if the world hates you. They hate Sunini Nanini. And you are reminding them of who he is. So when France carries a warship in the Bight of Benin and Britain carries a warship in the Bight of Benin, it's no different to the slave ships that were parked in the Bight of Benin. They hate those black people there. They want them in slavery. And they got us because we were in disobedience. And they lost us now because we are in obedience. Hallelujah. So JC, not the firstborn of the dead? No, he isn't. He never lived, so he can't die. And he never left this place, so he can't come again. This is the problem we have. And this is what they've done to. Now, you see, now, when we start talking like this, the first thing is you're going to start saying, oh, no, I think he's treading on dangerous grounds because, that's blasphemy. Ain't no blasphemy. Ask them Romans. That's why the Pope said it is impossible for anyone to have a relationship with Jesus Christ and don't have the same relationship with the Catholic Church because they made him. And they made him and embedded him. That's another part, like the manipulation of the language. And embedded the image into your visual sight. And it's now left in your head. Even though it don't exist, you're afraid to trouble it because you think it does. Psychological operation. Pavlov and these so-called psychologists and so on, they did these tests with the stimulus response. Piaget, they did these tests. And after the stimulus has been removed, the animal still performs its animalistic tendency. He still behaves as though the stimulus was there. That's what happened. The good spell was put on us, and we still believe. Even though we know now it's a spell, and we still want to carry that spell on. No, it can't work. Jesus never existed. He never died. He was never resurrected. Jesus never did. He never went nowhere, and he ain't coming back from nowhere. And I hear the older folks saying, oh, no, I'm staying far from him. Could you switch him off? Switch him off. This reality is going to become so real in a couple of weeks and months. They're going to tell you openly with their mouth, and you're not going to even believe that they made it up. Sunini will make them talk out. Every knee shall bow, and every tongue will confess that Sunini Nanini Samandla is the only one, and there is none beside him. Oh, Jesus is coming and taking all the praises from Sunini Nanini. Nonsense. Thank you. Msindasi really say there are only 12 hours in a day. And he's not wrong. 12 hours in a day. He's talking about, he's not talking about the night, because there's 12 hours in the night. And you know that. And there's 12 hours in the day, exactly. So if the 12 hours in a day, you do what you have to do in the day when you see it in the light. Don't wait till the night for the 12 hours in the night to start doing things when you can't see what you're doing. That's a conversation he was having. So he's telling you. Thank you. We're coming down now. Hey, I love you guys. Don't know who that is. I want to know if Samba ends on Saturday. Is the same question again? If Samba ends on Saturday at 11, wherever Samba start, whatever time Samba start, Friday, Samba will end Saturday. Exact time. If it starts at 11:51 and it ends at 11:51, if because of the portals that the moon, the sun is going through, you might find it starts at 11:51 and it ends at 11:52. That kind of situation. And it will go like that at 1 minute and increase and increase and increase, because as it rises, it comes from one portal to the next, from one portal to the next, and it's seconds, in a matter of seconds, it will be changing. And then it will go down on the same side on the other side now, and you find that the time is lessening. 51, 50, 49, and so on. The next time you see it increasing, pay attention to it and you'll see it. Then go 51, 52, 53, it lengthens. Then it starts dropping back. Yeah. My husband and I ended in the evening at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock where? In the US? If you keeping the Samba according to the time in the US, you are doing opposite to the scripture. These are Sunini's feasts. Sunini is not in America. Sunini didn't give this feast to people in America. He gave it to the Bantu before they went to America. So if the Bantu is going to celebrate Sunini's feast and they ended up in America, they have to celebrate it as though they are home. You know, you can't celebrate it when the sun is setting in America. You got to celebrate it as though you are home in your land. That's how it works. You don't have to end it. It ends itself. So, yeah, yeah. You're gonna take some time, and you're gonna get there. I suggest that some people join us in our basic group on Telegram, and then I get to walk you through on small groups of maybe 5-6 people, so that I can spend time helping you to give yourself the foundation that you need to understand how we have become dopey because of what they taught us. My question is to ensure that my husband and I are beginning and ending the feast, the Father's feast days in time, according to South Africa time. I hope I am making my question clear. You are making your question clear. Now let me share this with you. Stop sharing for a while there. So that I can take you there, and I want to just get you a page from here. Hallelujah. Bear with me, I'm just trying to get you a page. Okay. We'll pull this page over here. I'm going to share this page with you now so that I can help you. Which state did you say you're in? Where are you? If I can get back the question to see which state is in. USA, you got several time zones. You got to know your time zone is different in every time zone. So just watch on this this chart for the blowing of the trumpet that we took the time to help prepare. If I can just open it up a little bigger here. So let's say that you are so for everybody for this day on this Tuesday when we celebrated the New Year's when it came in, yeah. At 6:40 p.m. the sun was setting, sunset in South Africa, 6:40 p.m. and sunset at the end of summer is 6:41 p.m. Now, what this has done here, it has calibrated everybody's time and synchronized it with South Africa time. So in London at 5:40 Tuesday, December started, or the New Year came in at 5:40. In Switzerland, it is 6:40, like South Africa time. France, Germany, all of them. Yeah. If you come over to Canada, it's 9:40 a.m. When they're seeing that sun up there, AM time, that is when that sun is setting in the Holy Land. That's when you blow. So it is bright till early morning, you're going to be blowing. But you're blowing you're not South Carolina. Now let me do South Carolina. South Dakota, Carolinas, Colorado, Nevada, Carolina. Is there South separately? Let me just glance my eyes through if I see South Carolina. South Carolina, yeah? This is it here. See? That's South Carolina. Same time with Washington here, right? So 12:40. 12:40 in the day. 12:40 p.m. Little go 40 minutes after the sun is in the middle of the sky and where you live because of how the sun. But in South Africa, that same sun that you are seeing there is setting in South Africa. But because of where you are on the earth, it looks to you like the sun is now over your head. But if you had been in South Africa at that very moment when you pick up that trumpet at 12:40, South Africa will be the same time with you in terms of the setting of the sun. You'll be synchronizing, blowing it in the same location. That's why I said to you, when you're praying, you face the south. If you're in America, depending on what part of America, some people have to face more south, Europe, England side, south, more southeast. Some people, if you're like Russia side, you're gonna be looking more south, south still, but south west to get to face Jerusalem in Southern Africa. And all of this we did when we were doing the fake thing, because those people tell us we must face Jerusalem in the Levant to pray. We did all of that. Then now you face the right Jerusalem, and you do it according to the time in the Southern Hemisphere. That's what you're doing. I hope that is helpful. In Canada, we are sleeping during the day, during December, day, weekly, annual. How can we observe when we are sleeping? Well, you see, you are observed when you're sleeping in the Northern Hemisphere, but opposite side of the earth, right? I don't know if it's the opposite side, but you will have to blow your trumpet at the same time with South Africa. That is a commandment. It's a commandment. So you have to keep it like that. You are seeing it because where are you from? But if you had been in South Africa, that was the time that you would have been doing it. That same time that is midnight for you when is your sleeping time. So you have to set your alarm on. If you were working that shift, for example, if you're a nurse and you were working that shift, you will get up and make sure that you're at Master Place, isn't it? Because if you don't go to Master Place, Master not pay. See? So now, it's Sunini's feast. It's my daddy's feast. It's the Creator's feast. How much more? Now, this is what is going to make the difference between those who are going to experience this redemption and those who are going to argue with this redemption. I'm not saying you're doing that. Because now, when the truth has come, the things that we used to do in Christianity and faithfully did it, now we got to do opposite. And we're saying, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that again. I was doing it faithfully. I worship JC. Now I need to worship Sunini Nanini. Nah, let me just stay. That's the problem of the old people that say, nah, let me just stay with Jesus, man. You take the whole world, just give me Jesus. All right. I'm going to pause here because I can't take all the questions. I'm going to take this as the last one. All right. So, Elder thank you. Is there a geographical difference between the full allotment of the holy nation and the holy city? Where are the boundaries on the map? No, the kind of question you want to ask me is you're making me feel bigger than I'm supposed to be. You're asking me for the original boundaries of this. I can't do that. I'm just like you. I'm just a human like you that was tricked by those wicked people, tricked in terms of the location. So for me to like be able to be so miraculously inspiring to go find them boundaries, it's nearly like impossible. I can tell you that the holy city, Jerusalem, it spanned the Kalahari, the wall, and I'm going to close on this question. Let me just bring up a map and show you what I'm talking about. Maybe you're new. I don't know how new, but I'll just change the color. So you see those lines there, those straight lines. When you see those lines, you know that somebody is representing something that is specific and know about. Now this is the western wall of the city of Jerusalem, running straight into Namibia, right? And the walls of Great Zimbabwe in Muzovingo province is the remnants of the walls of the city Jerusalem. And this city runs right across here, so that Nazareth is somewhere here, right? Nazareth is somewhere in Mpumalanga. So this will be the eastern side, this will be the northern walls, and this will be the western walls, and this will be the southern walls. I said the wailing walls is the wall that were crying one. Well, this temple stood here in the Kalahari. That's where the temple stood. Namibia, Botswana, South Africa. The temple stood there. Solomon got his goal to build right in a space here called Ophir, King Solomon's Mines. It's right in this vicinity. Right? Ophir is the name of a person. In the lineage, I think it's in the lineage of, is it in Japhet? Or in the lineage of, is it Juktan? I can't remember. But, so this is a city. Now, this city, Jerusalem, Ikayalami, cannot fit in the Levant. It cannot fit there. It's too big. It's, let's say, 1,500 miles across, or for long, let's just use it average. 1,500 miles across, 1,500 miles this way. That's how it is. So you can't get that kind of mileage in that little space over there. Unless you go until in Iraq, until in Iran, and way over to Turkey. And those places are not the Holy Land. Those are Arab lands. They've always been there. Those are the children, the 7 sons that they tried to give to Japhet. Japhet and have those sons. Those are the children of Cain. And those are all related people, referred to in the Bible in Genesis chapter 10 as Gentiles. I want to thank everyone for coming in the chat room. And like the question you asked, eventually Sonini might raise up somebody else to go in and bring out that part of it, and it will be glorious. My part, I'm doing it well. I'm loving it. I'm doing it well. So thank everyone for coming tonight. And remember to support our shows in every way you can. We don't have a Cash App. We have PayPal, UK Bantu Exodus. So we thank you for your support. So thank all those who joined tonight. May the Most High Almighty Sunini Nanini Samandla, the Mighty One of Abraham, Issachar, and Akobi, continue to watch over the Bantu as we continue to experience his glorious resurrection. Thank you and good night.
Education TV, waking up the Bantus from sleep to sleep.
Okay, this is Black Re-Education TV, where we're stepping back from the brink towards a more meaningful future. With our theme verse being, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." So if your ancestors were scattered via the transatlantic slave trade or the Mohammedan Arabic Islamic slave trade, then you are the children of Almighty Sunini Nanini Samandla, the Mighty One of Abraham, Issachar, and Akobi. Oh yes, Black history. The study of the Bible is Black history. And so you're welcome tonight. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Share the link to everyone. And let somebody know tonight that you are connected to the show. We give him all the praise. We give him all the glory. We give him all the honor because he is due all the praise and all the honor. Oh yes, share the link and text a friend. And after the show, make sure you follow us on all the channels. It is on Telegram Live, it is YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and the recording is uploaded on Bantu, you are welcome tonight to the show. All praises to Almighty Sunini Nanini Samanda. We give him all the praise and all the glory.
Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea. Black Free Education TV. Waking up the Bantus from sea to sea. Black Free Education